Hello and welcome dear students. Our today's topic of discussion is definite integral. First we will see the definition and geometrical significance of definite integral. Integral a to b this small fx dx, which will be equal to capital Fx between a and b, that will equals f of capital F of b minus capital F of a, is called definite integral of the function small f between the limits a and b, where this capital Fx is the antiderivative of this function small fx. So what we are doing here is we are integrating this small fx between the limits a and b, and then substituting these limits we will get our definite integration. And the very important point about this function small fx, which is that fx should be bounded and continuous in the closed interval ab. So now we will see the geometrical significance of this definite integration. So we have a curve y is equal to fx bounded between the lines x is equal to a and x is equal to b. So if we take an stripe of width h and which will in the form of a rectangle, so if we have to calculate area of this whole region, so what we can do is we can divide our this whole region into n number of stripes, each of width h. So what we can write is we can write h plus h n times, and that will equal to b minus a, that is the distance of the point b from the origin minus distance of the point a from the origin, and our h plus h n times will be nh, and that will equal to b minus a. If we are taking larger number of stripes, then our width h going to be smaller and it is very close to 0. So we have, as n tending to infinity, h is tending to 0. We can calculate area of this region by two methods. First, we will consider this smaller rectangle. Similarly, we have n smaller rectangles which will not cover the exact area bounded by this curve. So in the first method, what we can write is we can write capital Sn, that will equal to limit s tending to 0, n is tending to infinite, and what we have written here, we have written area of these n rectangles of width, each of width h. So we have h width of an rectangle, and f of a, that means value of the function at the point a, which will give the length of this strip. So we can write it as like this: h into bracket f of a plus f of a plus h, and so on, f of a plus n minus 1 into h. In the second method, we will consider the larger rectangle which will cover more area, which is not bounded by this curve and these lines with x-axis. So in this method we can write small sn, that will equal to limit s tending to 0 and n is tending to infinite, width h multiplied by the length, that is f of a plus h, value of the function at the point a plus h, similarly and so on, f of a plus nh. So our required area of this region will be in between capital Sn and small sn. If our n is tending to infinite, then our area will be this, then our area will be this integral a to b fx dx. This is also known as first principle of integration. Now we will see an example, which is we have to evaluate integral 0 to 1 e की power x dx by first principle. So what we have this limit a is equal to 0 and b is equal to 1, and we have the function f of x, that will be e की power x. So what is the formula for nh? We have nh is equal to b minus a. So we can write 1 minus 0, that will be equal to 1. So by first principle we can write our limit h is tending to 0 and n is tending to infinite, h multiplied by value of the function at the point 0, that is f of 0, plus value of the function at the point 0 plus h, that will be f of 0 plus h, and so on, value of the function f of 0 plus n minus 1 into h. So we have f of 0, that will be e की power 0, and we have f of 0 plus h, that will be equal to e raised to h. Similarly we can write e to the power n minus 1 into h. So here we are seeing this is a GP with common ratio e to the power h, so we can write its sum of n terms, that will be equal to e raised to nh minus 1 divided by e raised to h minus 1 multiplied by h. Now we have value of nh will be 1. Substituting this value, we will get limit h tending to 0, e minus 1 multiplied by h divided by e raised to h minus 1, and our final answer will be e minus 1. Now we will see some properties of definite integration. So we have first property, and that is interchanging of variables. So what we are doing here is our integral a to b fx dx, this can be written as integral a to b f of t dt, that is we are changing our variable from x to t. In the next property, what we have, if we want to interchange our limits of integration, then we can do it like this: integral a to b f of x dx, and that will be equal to minus times integral b to a f of x dx. Our third property is integral a to b fx dx, this can be written as like this: integral a to c fx dx plus integral c to b fx dx. This property also known as breaking property, provided our f has piecewise continuity. We can break this integral into n number of breaking points, and adding all these integrals we will get the same resultant. Our next property is when our integral is in between limits minus a to a f of x dx, so we can write it as like this: 0 to a f of x plus f of minus x dx, and that will be equal to, if our function fx is even, we will get twice integral 0 to a f of x dx, and if our function is odd, then the value of this integral will be 0. Our fifth property is integral a to b f of x dx, that will be equal to integral a to b f of a plus b minus x dx, or if we have integral 0 to a f of x dx, that will be equal to 0 to a f of a minus x dx. Our sixth property is when our limits of integration is between 0 to 2a, that is we have integration 0 to 2a f of x dx, that will equal to integration 0 to a f of x plus f of 2a minus x dx. So what will be the value of this integration? So if we have this f of 2a minus x equal to minus times f of x, then the value of this integral will be 0, and if f of 2a minus x will be equal to fx, then the value of this integral will be twice integral 0 to a f of x dx. Now we will see some examples using these properties. So first we have to evaluate integral 0 to 3 greatest integer of x dx. Now since we know that greatest integer function is discontinuous at each points where it becomes an integer, so by property 3 we can break this integral into its limits. What we will get? We will get integral 0 to 3 greatest integer of x dx can be written as integral 0 to a greatest integer of x dx plus integral 1 to 2 greatest integer of x dx plus integral 2 to 3 greatest integer of x dx. That since we know that when our x is in between 0 and 1, the value of greatest integer will be 0. So here we have 0 dx. Similarly, when our x will be in between 1 to 2, then value of our greatest integer. So what we are getting here, we are getting 0, and integrating dx, what will we get? We will get x, and integrating twice dx, what will get? We will get 2x. And here if we put the limits of this integration into these functions, we will get our value of this integral 0 to 3 greatest integer of x dx will be 1 plus 2, and that will equal to 3. Now we will see another example on these properties. Now in the next example we have to evaluate integral minus 2 to 2 mod 1 minus x square dx. Since here f of x is equal to f of minus x, therefore our mod 1 minus x square is an even function, and by property 4 we can write this integral minus 2 to 2 mod 1 minus x square dx, that will equal to twice of 0 to 2 mod 1 minus x square dx. Now by property of mod we can write it as like this integral minus 2 to 2 mod 1 minus x square dx is equal to twice of integral 0 to 1 1 minus x square dx plus integral 1 to 2 minus times 1 minus x square dx. By property 3 we are breaking these limits. Now by integrating this function we will get x minus x cube by 3 between 0 to 1 plus, similarly integrating this we will get x cube minus x cube by 3 minus x between the limits 1 to 2. Putting these limits we will get here 1 minus 1 by 3 plus 8 minus 1 by 3 minus 1, and we are getting 2 into 6. The next example is we have to evaluate integral 0 to pi by 4 ln 1 plus tan x dx. So first let this integral will be equal to I, that is I is equal to integral 0 to pi by 4 ln 1 plus tan x dx. We have our function fx equals to ln 1 plus tan x. So this will implies f of pi by 4 minus x, that will equal to ln 1 plus tan pi by 4 minus x, and that will equal to ln 1 plus 1 minus tan x upon 1 plus tan x, and that will equal to ln 2 by 1 plus tan x. So by property 5 we can write I is equal to integral 0 to pi by 4 f of pi by 4 minus x dx, and that will equal to integral 0 to pi by, from 1 and 2, adding these two equations what we will get? We will get I plus I, that will equal to 2I integral 0 to pi by 4 ln 1 plus tan x dx plus integral 0 to pi by 4 ln 2 upon 1 plus tan x dx. This is twice I, that will equal to 0 to pi by 4 ln 2 dx, and integrating this we will get, integrating this and putting limits of this integration we will get pi by 4 ln 2, and this will implies that our I will be pi by 8 ln 2. Here we have applied property 5, which states that if our integral is in between 0 to a fx dx, so we can write this it as integral 0 to a f of a minus x dx.